All
Hi,
right.
everyone.
Yeah. We've seen Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We can't wait to talk about it. This is going to be our spoiler review. Okay.
You know
So,
the spoilers when we come on screen.
yes, exactly. So, we're going to talk about it. We're not going to go through the entire movie,
Just
obviously.
the main plot
Yeah,
points.
but we're going to spoil it.
This is
So,
our first movie review on the channel.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. It is. Yeah. So, if you have not seen it, if you're okay with spoilers, that's fine. But, please go ahead, watch the film, and come back, and then we'll discuss. All right. I'm Kerwin. This is Keith. We're Father Son Galaxy. Let's talk about it. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Okay. Um, let's start with the funeral. All right. Um, we saw the funeral in the preview.
A lot of it.
Right. We knew it was coming.
Really, all we saw in the previews and the trailer was the funeral.
They didn't say what disease it was, but
I'm assuming it's cancer.
they're checking on him. She's checking his vitals while she's trying to find recreate the herb, and it turns out that of course T'Challa didn't make it. So we have the funeral. It's a beautiful funeral. I it's everyone was wearing white. One of the nice things, it was very well done. It's very touching. When they showed you the casket. Um, and you saw the engraving on the casket on the top of the mask, the Black Panther mask, and then the symbol, right? So they don't have a hearse, so they leave it right in the middle of the ground, and then they have a ship above, and it raises the casket up to the ship. And then what was nice was that they tilted as the casket was raised, they tilted it upwards, and it looked like it was T'Challa just in his suit giving the sign. I thought that was awesome. That was fantastic. So that was the funeral, and then it picks up 1 year later. All right, and two events happen. Involving vibranium. Right.
Firstly, an attack on a ship by what we assumed were Wakandans, but all of a sudden, a bunch of these people, they just like walk off the edge of the boat as if possessed or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the Atlanteans pop up and they're raiding the ship for the vibranium so that they don't get access to it. The ends don't justify the means, but they had the right idea, just not the right execution. Emphasis on execution. Because they took out everybody on the ship, and there were these two people who tried to escape the helicopter, and somehow Namor pulled it back into the ocean, and that's when we got our first shot of Namor.
Yes, it was. And so where Wakanda stands in regards to vibranium, when we saw T'Challa in the first movie, he was willing to share the vibranium technology to other countries.
But people
right?
overextended their welcome.
Well, right. But now that he's no longer here, Queen Ramonda has taken the stand that she was not going to share any of the technology, nothing. So, of course, what countries do when they don't get what they want, they take it. So,
and France kind of got thrown under the bus because they sent some of their troops to go get the vibranium, and the Dora Milaje were like, actually, you know what? No, thank you. Yeah.
Right. So the U.S. Were the ones who had that expedition where they're trying to find vibranium in the water, right? And that's where they encountered
They had drill bits, but they were kind of broken up.
Right, and that's where they encountered the Talakans, right? Namor and his people, and then France tried to infiltrate this facility on Wakanda
and
try to grab some vibranium, and that didn't work out. The Dora Milaje was there and took care of them. And then, so once again, we know that vibranium is very popular. It's a valuable resource. All the countries want it. Ramonda represented herself at the UN and explained to them what happened, and she was very nice to bring these men who tried to break into the Wakandan facility.
She looked at France like, right. You know what you did.
Yeah, they had the diplomats from France representing France and US, and they're angry because, well, Wakanda, why won't you share your technology with us? And they said, well, you know what, we're not going to. And if you try to take it from us again, it's going to mean an act of war. All right. Now we found out that the United States actually has a scientist who created this machine that can detect vibranium.
Named
All right.
Riri Williams.
Okay, Riri Williams.
Sound
all right.
familiar?
Yes. So, Okoye is tasked to find Riri Williams because she's endangered. All right. Namor is aware of this person who created this technology. Namor is just like, Talocan is just like Wakanda. They don't want anybody to know anything about the vibranium. Right now, apparently, the story of the vibranium, there were the meteorites that fell on Wakanda, and that's
so apparently Wakanda had a meteorite, and there was this mound, as they call it in the stories, of vibranium, and apparently one of them must have landed in the ocean.
Exactly. Yep. And that's how the Talakans got their powers. All right. So they had their own version of the heart-shaped herb.
And Namor was just laced in vibranium.
Yes, exactly.
Decked to the nines of vibranium.
Yeah.
Vibranium nexus, vibranium armlets or whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, hello to our audience and the nerdy entrepreneur. Hello, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Yes. So
you didn't miss too much.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So we're going to keep going. So Riri Williams. So where did they go? All right. So Okoye is tasked to find her because she's in danger. Namor is looking for her.
Shuri decides, hey, I'm going to come along.
Right. And Ramonda did not want that. She didn't want Shuri out there. It was very dangerous for her to be out there, the princess of Wakanda. But Shuri was adamant and said, well, I'm going to go. I'll be fine. Mm-hmm. So Okoye and Shuri head to Massachusetts to
get Riri because she's going to MIT.
MIT. How about that, right? You know what?
Spider-Man reference.
Let me tell you something about MIT. It must feel great to be MIT because
it must feel great to be them because they have so many Marvel kids going there.
Yeah.
They have Peter Parker. Now they have Riri Williams.
Yeah.
MIT must be rich at this point, richer than they already are.
And think about it. I mean, like years from now, recruiters, are talking to these candidates who are looking to get into MIT. And one of the first questions they'll ask is, well, why do you want to go to MIT?
Marvel.
Well, why do you want to go to MIT? Okay. Hey, Barbara, how are you? Thank you. Hi, Figgy.
Hello.
Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. So MIT is they don't have to advertise. You know what I mean? They got Marvel doing it for them, and Marvel reaches millions of people all around the world. And I just can't imagine how many kids now want to now go to MIT because they're in Marvel.
I wonder if she's met Peter.
Who knows? Okay. All right. So then, so once again, they find Riri. They find her in her dormitory. She takes them to this garage where she has a lab where she's created, lots of technology, right? And then they're all of a sudden surrounded by the FBI.
The feds pulled up at the door.
Right. But
like,
not
open up.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Not only the FBI, but
car chase.
Yes, there was this car chase, a fantastic car chase. The stunts were really cool. It rivaled the car chase in the first film, but this was very nice. So they're trying to escape the feds. And then Namor and his people also show up. They get around very quickly. So they got there and they put up.
You know what else I just realized? Mm-hmm. Wakanda's in Africa. I don't know how they get across that fast, but basically, according to Shuri, traveled halfway across the world to get to America. In like 10 seconds.
Well, they have
through the magic of editing.
Sure. They have ships for that. You know what I mean? So, they got the technology to go anywhere.
Cut the camera and they could be anywhere you want.
Exactly. The magic of
because that makes sense.
The magic of filmmaking. Yeah. So the Talakans put up a fight. Okoye is doing her best to defend herself.
Mm-hmm. And also Riri and Shuri are knocked out.
Right. Now they have this the Talakans have this vibranium, like a water ball, right? They're made of vibranium. Water bombs, yes. And they threw these bombs, and it was just fantastic because they actually slowed it down when the impact of the bomb hits the car that Okoye was driving and the motorcycle that Shuri was riding. And it was awesome. It was an awesome sight. It was a very powerful weapon that they have there. So anyway, so it turns out that Okoye was no match for this Talokan, and she was thrown in the river. Shuri got captured,
So
and
Riri.
Right, and Riri, and she wanted to, she wanted the Talakans to take them to Namor, so they were taken away, and Okoye has to return back home to Wakanda and explain to Ramonda what happened.
And Ramonda strips her of her rank for like no reason. I mean, come on.
Well,
she kind of failed, but that seems very harsh.
You know what?
We get that she failed, but still.
Yeah. But funny thing, right? When we had Kara Mahorn as our guest a couple of days ago, we were talking about her book, Protectors of Wakanda. There's it's very eerie that some of the things that I read or we read in her book actually was represented in the film.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the Midnight Angels.
Exactly. Well, we'll get to the Midnight Angels, but when we know that Ryan Coogler and his group of writers and producers, they borrowed and say, well, she's been defending Wakanda for so many years, and she even took her boyfriend and brought him in.
That was her husband.
Husband, okay, brought her husband in to prison, and and Ramonda said, she can go see her husband at any time, but her children, her husband is gone. T'Challa's gone. She doesn't know where Shuri is, and she's says, like, "Have I not given everything? My entire family's
gone. Exactly. Have I not given everything?"
Right, and that scene, if Angela Bassett gets a nomination, it's going to be for that scene. So she was very unhappy. So my point is, in the book, in Karama's book, there's a story about one of the Doras, right, Zola, who had the same thing happen to her, right, when she was in charge of watching over a little T'Challa, and he walked away, wandered off, and got lost.
And then they lost her,
right,
lost him,
right, and then Ramonda was the one that found the little boy, and then when they took everyone back to T'Chaka was very angry with Zola and fired her.
Yep.
So that was very interesting.
Then she started teaching the school. So
and because of that, she was the one who created the training facility for the Dora Milaje.
So now they can train.
Exactly. So Okoye's gone for now. Ramonda travels to Haiti to meet Nakia and explains to Nakia, "I need your help. My daughter's gone. I need you to find her." Nakia says, she was reluctant, but she said okay, and she was able to infiltrate Talokan. Now, meanwhile, Shuri is with Namor, and Namor is a very good host. He's very nice. He gives her a tour of Talokan. Talokan, this underwater city, looks beautiful. It was beautiful. Shout out to the production designer, Hannah Beckler. She's back for this film.
Yeah, it was so great. I loved the entire place.
Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous, that city. But Nakia came in and, she took care of business. She took out some of Namor's people, and she was able to rescue Shuri and Riri and bring them back to Wakanda. Now, Namor's angry.
Yeah. Oh, he is upset.
Yes, Namor's
because
angry.
They also took out some Atlanteans in the process.
Yes.
And Shuri tried to save her, but Nakia's like, "Go, let's go." So they ended up having to leave. And now it's on. So Namor comes back and he's like, "Wakanda will fall." And of course it falls. Just water crashing everywhere. Huge fights going all around the place.
There's a flood, right, in Wakanda, like an area of Wakanda.
And M'Baku tries to stop him. And Namor just punches him in and splinters his armor. I thought he eliminated M'Baku because in the palace.
Right. And they felt the impact, and they were underwater for deep underwater. But Ramonda did manage to get them, but she can only take so much. So unfortunately, she did not make it. Yes. What you can tell me? What are you trying to tell me?
Audio issue.
Okay.
Audio's out.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Or not.
Okay. Let's keep going. All right. So Ramonda does not make it. All right.
Of course
Now,
not.
here's
because they had to kill the entire royal family in one movie.
Yeah.
Of course, we needed to see 2 funerals, right?
Yeah. See, here's the part that I was not happy about. You know, when we were talking about it yesterday, our out of trailer reaction, something that we thought was unnecessary. I don't know why they needed to kill off Ramonda.
Could have waited till Black Panther 3 if you really wanted to go there.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt that
that's way too much suffering for one person to take in one movie.
Exactly. And Shuri, you know, Letitia Wright, you know, she did a very good job in this film. She had to carry a lot.
And you know, we're just supposed to be okay with that, like pile on the trauma for everyone.
Yeah, and I can't imagine what she had to go through, you know, getting over, you know, going through the loss of, you know, not having Chadwick Boseman,
and then going through another imaginary, and then go through an imaginary loss.
Right.
That's fun.
Mourning him, mourning him as T'Challa in the film, and also
then getting another death.
Yeah, and then you know have to mourn her mother as well. So she's lost her mother, her brother, and her father. So
at this point, she's just an orphan.
Yeah, I wish there was another way. I still don't know.
Or maybe
if it was
Marvel could have listened to the fans.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessary for her to go. You know, I don't think it added anything to the story.
Hardly got enough screen time as it is.
Yeah. But then what this means is now Shuri wants revenge, right? So she finally creates the heart-shaped herb, and she and Nakia and Riri are helping her create the herb, and she takes it just like her brother did in the first movie. So she wants to become the Black Panther. She takes the herb and ingests it, and she goes to the ancestral plane. And when she gets there, does she meet her mother? No. Does she meet T'Challa? No.
Does she meet T'Chaka?
Does she meet T'Chaka? No. Her father? No. Who does she meet? Killmonger in the ancestral plane. All right. So Michael B. Jordan is back. And I will say, actually, I thought they handled him coming back very well.
Yes.
I see his place in the story because that was his MO, right? That was the emotions that he was feeling in the first film about revenge, getting back, getting what he thought he deserved. He wanted the throne. Shuri is angry with Namor, because of what happened to her mother, and also on top of what happened to.
I would not have shown that man mercy.
Yeah, and
I would have ripped both his wings off.
Yeah, exactly. So they had a conversation, and they're both angry, and then she returns, and then Nakia wants to know, okay, well, who did you see? And Shuri would not tell them. All right, welcome. All right, let's welcome some of the.
Hello.
Can we read some of the comments? Do we have any comments? Okay, all right. We're going to have some comments coming up, but thank you, everyone. Wow, I see a lot of people there. All in the game, thank you. Killed her to motivate Shuri. Needed a scene of Riri feeling a little guilt for Ramonda's death. Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Well, you know what? Now that I'm thinking, I know Shuri was, when she was trying to create or recreate it, because it was destroyed, in the first film, that she really thought that this was the end of the Black Panther. So I don't really think she had that motivation, just like you're saying, all in the game. She had that motivation to become the Black Panther until her mother passed away. So maybe that's a good point. That's what she needed. She needed tragedy. I mean, she had enough tragedy. Honestly, with
she has no father, no brother, and now no mother.
But then that just took her over the edge. So that's a very good point. So now Wakanda has taken too many L's in the MCU to date. Yes, they have. Absolutely, they have. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to Shuri. Shuri's revenge. She lures Namor and his people, into the ocean, and they got a plan set up for her. Oh, by the way,
there's all the Wakandans on an ocean liner.
Right. Now, by the way, let's go back. We were talking about Okoye, right? She is no longer a Dora Milaje, but she now becomes
a Midnight Angel.
A member of the Midnight Angels. Now, Midnight Angels, again, going back to Karen Mahor's book, there is a section in the book. The Midnight Angels was created by Ta-Nehisi Coates in his run back in 2015 when he wrote the Black Panther series. And in the comic books, there were two Midnight Angels, right? One was Ao. Just talking about the comic book. So Ao and Anika were the Midnight Angels in the comics. In the film, it's Okoye and Anika. Anika is played by Michaela Cole, right? She's a new character in the film, very good actress. So the two of them are now the Midnight Angels. Okay, all right, and they're there to assist the the royal family and to assist the Dora Milaje to fight the Talakans. So that was their role. And so now there's this battle going on between the two, between the Wakandans and the Talakans. It turns out at the end, so now you have Namor versus the Black Panther, and the two of them
are on the beach.
Yes, and the two of them are going at each other.
And then Namor stabs Shuri.
Well, right, there were some things that went on,
and we thought it was the end because at this point, why not just get rid of the royal family entirely? Because that looked like where they were going.
Yeah, I understand, Keith. I know this is we didn't want to get rid of the entire family, but what I like about the battle, compare it to the first film. The battle in the first movie I thought was too CGI. It was too heavy, too much CGI.
You could kind of tell it was getting green screen.
Yeah, and it would have been nice if when we had Killmonger and T'Challa fighting, combat hand to hand. I thought that would have been great, having the actors or the stunt people, doing the fight for them. I thought that would have been more realistic. This time around, I think they understood that, maybe it was too much CGI, and then they decided to just have the two actors and the stunt people just go back at it, and they were going at each other. They're really powerful people, both of them, and they have these and the wings that
Shuri ripped those wings
off. She ripped off she was very angry. She ripped off his wings, but she got to a point where she was ready to take Namor's life, and then she heard the voice of her mother. Show them what Wakandas do, right?
Which should have been kill Namor.
Well,
but
that's not what
he had to come back.
That's not what her mother meant. I think, show them who you are, is what she said.
You could take that to mean many different things. One of which means
okay. Or spare his life, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So,
what amazes me? The only deaths were on the Wakandan side.
Well,
I mean,
the Talakans, right? The Talakans, right? The Talakans.
But that's fine because we didn't really care about them.
Well, because we didn't know them, right? As much as we know the people of the royal family. So I understand what you're saying. So it looked like there was a loss, more so on Wakanda than the other side, but they suffered losses. They did. So what do you let us know about, if you have any questions or comments. So what do you think about Ramonda losing her life? Was it necessary for the story? All in the game. You have a very good point, but does anybody else have any other comments about that, or anything about the Okoye becoming a Midnight Angel, and losing her job, losing her position? Was that fair? Was Ramonda too harsh on her? I don't know.
Yes.
What I do find, well, in my opinion, I do miss seeing Okoye as a Dora Milaje. I think she's just...
Shuri could reinstate her, though.
Exactly. I was just a good point. I was going to say that. She is fierce as a Dora Milaje, and she leads them, and she's a very good captain, and she shows leadership. So yes, you're right. Although Ramonda was the one who actually fired her, now that Ramonda is no longer here, Shuri can absolutely restore her back to her
like
title.
how when T'Challa gave vibranium to the world, Ramona was like, "No, thank you. I'll take that now."
Right, right. And so let's finish up the story. So Shuri hears her mother's voice and she spares Namor's life, and they come up with a truce. All right, and then what it is that they both are cut from the same cloth. You know, the two people, the two nations cut from the same cloth. They don't want to see vibranium fall into the wrong hands. They want to protect that resource. I don't know that it was the
same cloth, because one of those cloths was, if I want, we both have vibranium, so let me kill the royal family so I can protect vibranium. What?
Yes. Yeah, I know.
How is taking out the royal family supposed to help you protect vibranium?
Yeah, I think they might.
How is taking over the world gonna keep vibranium and Telecom safe? Yeah. I think Namor just really overextended himself. He really overreacted.
I agree with that. Yeah.
See, if I were Shuri, Namor would not be back for any other future MCU projects. Yeah. If that were me.
Yeah, Barbara, Figgy, same thing with us. You know, we were upset when the Queen died. We were not expecting that.
Because it was out of the blue and completely dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand.
Also, Riri was underwater longer because she fell in first, and Ramonda was closest to the top. So how is it that she didn't make it, and yet Riri did?
Excellent point, Keith. I can't argue with you. I know it's a decision that the filmmakers made, for whatever reason.
Probably not one that was well thought through.
Yeah. Well, so now the two nations have a truce, right? They know that they work better together than against each other. So I think going forward, they're going to have a better relationship. All right. They're going to get things
not killing people's families.
Right. Okay, we're going to move on to this. All right. So let's talk about, there was another cameo besides Michael B. Jordan showing up as Killmonger. We also saw Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. All right.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
I will not. And then
please do.
No. Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up again. All right. And apparently, so she works for the CIA along with Ross. So Ross is back. And apparently the two of them were married. They used to be married. That's very interesting. And now they're no longer married. So their storyline, so they're incorporated as well. So when, going back to Massachusetts, when the car chase happened and the accident, Shuri left some Komoyo beads, Komoyo beads. And
turns out Val had them bugged.
Right. Ross picked them up, and he was actually communicating with Ramonda at the time. So of course, if the country, the U.S. is really at war with another country, and you have somebody from the CIA in communication with the country, without any, without giving any knowledge to the government,
quote unquote treason.
Right. So they call it treason, and she arrested Ross.
I don't know why she had handcuffs in the kitchen drawer.
Right. She was in the kitchen there, just having a conversation. And she said,
she's I know. Hey, Ross, how you been?
Yeah.
I know what you did. It's Director De Fontaine to you. Yeah. You're going out in the handcuffs.
She had the handcuffs ready for him.
Wait, Dad, Val just rehearsed this. All right. So enter Ross. He steps in. Yeah. I say hello. Pull handcuffs out drawer. Slap him on him. Call the car. Yeah. All right. Let's go. Now we're doing the actual thing. Yeah. I said that out loud, didn't I?
No, that's fine. That's what happened. I mean, she just, look.
That was rehearsed.
And he went quietly, and he got arrested. And there's a scene towards the end of the movie where he's actually being transported in a truck. And then, of course, there is this accident on the road where there's a fallen tree, and it's just a distraction, obviously. And the two drivers and in the front, the guards are taken out, and then one of the Midnight Angels show up, and it happens to be Okoye, and he was so glad to see her, and she got him out. So Ross is fine, he's out of prison. So apparently he's with the Wakandians, so he's okay. All right.
Right. So ready now for the mid-credit scene?
All right, that just leaves us with the mid-credit scene. So let's talk about that.
So Shuri decides to go to Haiti with Nakia.
Yeah.
and she meets Toussaint on the beach. So that is Nakia's son.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know she had a son.
Yes, and okay, and all right, so Nakia, I know we're getting to the mid-credit scene, but just step back a little bit. I just something nice that they did right before the film ended, before they rolled the credits.
Dedicated to our friend Chadwick
flash,
Boseman.
yes, they have flashbacks of Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yes, the Marvel intro was entirely Black Panther.
That's true, right?
Like, even when they would have the quotes from the other characters, that was all T'Challa.
Right.
All the scenes with T'Challa.
And there was no music playing, right? So it was just the right. It was just the Marvel logo. It was dead silent in the theater. I think people were just paying their respects. And then at the end of the film, there was also another tribute to Chadwick, and you see Shuri on the beach, and she's thinking about her brother, and they're just showing these flashbacks of Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa. That was pretty nice, wonderful. Now the mid-credit scene, going back, right? So
she meets Nakia's son.
Yes,
Toussaint. And Toussaint is his Haitian name.
Mm-hmm.
His real name is T'Challa.
His Wakanda name is T'Challa
because that is T'Challa's son.
Yes, exactly, right. What do you think about the mid-credit scene? Do you have an opinion about that? Are you okay with that? Him having a son? Okay, Keith. All right. Anyway, so what do you think? Let us know. So that's the mid-credit scene. We now know that T'Challa and Nakia had a boy, and the little boy is named after T'Challa, right? T'Challa the second. What do you think of?
It's like a soft recast, I guess.
Yes, it is.
They recast him, but they didn't recast him because it's a different person.
But you hear, that's exactly what it is, Keith. I agree with you. But you know what? I actually liked what they did. Yes. At some point, T'Challa has to be. No, but listen to this. T'Challa has to be recast, all right? Because you really can't have a Black Panther without T'Challa right now, okay? All right, it was unfortunate what happened to Chadwick Boseman, but it's better that they do it this way than to just say, okay, well, now we got to replace the actor with another actor for the sequel. And it was just too soon to do something like that. Okay. So then what they're doing instead is still in the same family. It's not T'Challa, they're not replacing the character of T'Challa. They're actually just taking his heir and making him T'Challa. So this T'Challa is going to be a very different person than the Chadwick Boseman T'Challa that we know. So I think it's a very good idea. And then at some point, they'll probably age him up. Maybe the next time we see this little boy, he might be a teenager, played by another actor who is not Chadwick Boseman. I think it's a perfect way to bring back T'Challa. Yeah. So let us know what you think, everyone. So let's go to Q&A.
Sure.
Yes.
Nerdy entrepreneur.
No, let's figure. Yeah, a prince. Yes, a favorite. No, stop. Okay, here. My favorite part of the movie. You see it right here?
Okay. I see the comment.
Okay, all right. My
favorite part of the movie.
Yes, was the post-credit scene. Yes, it was very nice. It was nicely done. I think that was the best way.
Yes.
Yes, I think it was the best way to bring T'Challa back, and he kept the name. The little boy kept the name. Does anybody have any idea? I know it's early to say, but if they were to recast T'Challa the second, who would play T'Challa's son? Any idea who that could be? I mean, it's
the nerdy entrepreneur.
Yes.
It's a setup for the young Avengers who are the children of the Avengers.
I like that.
Not necessarily, but a lot of them are.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think it could be part of the Young Avengers because, there's many of them. I can't name them all right now. But
I mean, Kate Bishop's not related to Hawkeye. Ironheart's not related to Iron Man.
Right.
Patriot's not related to Captain America.
No.
Scar is related to Hulk, though.
Yeah, but the point is that we have these young people who are upcoming, right? The new Avengers, the Young Avengers, so it's a new class of heroes. Mm-hmm. And T'Challa the second could be a part of that group.
Yeah, and the Prince T'Challa is related to the Chadwick Boseman T'Challa.
Yes.
But yes, I do like that Devin Lindsay. I like how they did that with the child.
Yep, I thought it was very, very nicely done.
Very sentimental.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, so that was the mid-credit scene. Okay. So now the nerdy entrepreneur. Yes,
they did say they were going to recast later. And remember, we got the multiverse. So we'll probably see an adult T'Challa as well as probably Phase 6 or 7.
I'm on board with that. That makes sense. Right. So we are part of the multiverse. We know anything can happen. Yes. So the T'Challa the second can age very quickly. So
out of respect for Chad, I don't think they should ever recast this part.
Now, are you saying even having his child, do you consider that a recast, or are you, Devin, are you saying that you're okay with them using his son to take over the mantle versus having an actor just play T'Challa? Yeah. So, yeah, that's very good. Yes. All right. So they did say that they were going to recast later. And remember, we got the multiverse. So, right. So we saw that, right? That's a repeat. Yeah. Right. Very good. All right. So
I think that's all for this episode, right?
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure, please.
All the games should be a relative unknown.
A relative unknown. Yeah. That's a very tough question to know the answer to right now. We don't know. It could be any, up and coming actor who can play T'Challa the second. Have this child, but not a recast of. Yes. Right. Exactly. So, yeah. So, Devin, we're saying the same thing. Have the child play the new T'Challa rather than have an actor recast to play that T'Challa. I like that idea. So all in all, let's do a recap of this film. So please send in your questions and comments, but we're going to recap now. I enjoy this movie. I enjoy this movie. Again, what I would say is, something that, I did not expect to see, or I did not, hasn't settled with me, is seeing Ramonda, the Queen, pass. But I think outside of that, like I said, Letitia Wright did a very good.
I got a grudge against Namor though.
Yeah, yes, you do. Again, Letitia Wright did a very good job. It was a very tough job to do. The production design, once again, I think Hannah Beckler, she's going to get another nomination. Costume design, Ruth Carter, excellent as always. So I think that's definite nomination. And the score, actually, to me, Ludwig Göransson, his score for this film actually stood out more than it did for the first film. So I thought there was some interesting music that was played throughout, and the type of instruments, he's an electronic producer and composer, some of the instruments that he decided to use was very interesting. But I like to get the soundtrack and listen to it again. But, for those of you who have seen it, what is your favorite part of the film?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, what did you think of the film overall? Does it stand up? Is it one of the better MCU films? Is it a top 10, top 15? Let us know.
Top 5.
Yeah,
top 3.
Yeah, even
top whatever.
Yeah, and, it's totally up to interpretation. But that is our spoiler review. All right. So just to let you know, the next time you'll see us will be on Wednesday. We're going to be reviewing Andor episode number 11. All right. So we're looking forward to that. We hope to see you then. Let people know where they can find us, Keith. And please continue to put in your questions and comments. But where can people find us, Keith?
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible, or wherever you get your podcast. Check out our Patreon page and please donate. Visit our socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fathers and Galaxy. Our website, fathersandgalaxy.com, and visit our speaker page as well. Plus, ending tomorrow is our 50%.
Does it end tomorrow?
I think.
Oh,
yep.
Okay, wow.
So ending tomorrow is our 15% off everything in the merch store.
Oh boy.
So if you want to buy some merch at a discounted price, you should go now.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, the deal ends tomorrow. So please buy the merch.
Mind the what?
Buy the merch.
Buy the merch.
Actually, it expires today. So
it's fine. It's fine. I think maybe we'll be able to extend it. We'll see. And then I want to just let you know about in case you missed the episode. I just want to talk about this book again. This is the book by Caramel Horn.
So you can see a lot more in details.
Yeah.
Talk a lot more of us talking in detail about this in our episode with Caramel Horn, our conversation episode.
Right.
So check that out too.
Protectors of Wakanda. Again, I know Karama wrote this book, way before the film was released. But it was just very interesting that some of the information found in this book actually had been referenced in the film.
It was actually written this year, though.
Yeah, right. But she had research and writing the actual book. That might have taken a long time to do.
Yeah.
So I just found it very interesting. So if if you're someone who maybe not a fan of the comic book lore or knows what's going on with the Black Panther,
summarizes it for you basically.
It's exactly
it's
right.
Like,
yeah,
it's really awesome. This is the comics. This is what the manual is.
Yeah, so
it's more of a digest copy of the comics,
exactly.
like the history of the Dora Milaje.
Right. So I do recommend you read this book and watch the episode of us interviewing Karama. It's wonderful. All right.
But that's it for this episode.
Okay.
So until next time, take care.
Okay. Wait. Just make sure that there's more Q&A. That's wonderful. All right. So we
Q&A.
got yes.
Great, guys.
This is awesome. Please. Okay. So what do we have here? All right, so I will definitely watch. I will definitely watch this episode. Thank you, guys. Yes, yeah,
please do.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's fitting that we are able to interview her right before the movie came out. So it's like a revelation. Like I said, like wow, okay, wow. The Midnight Angels is in the movie, and
yeah, that was a shocker.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Top 10, all the games. So you consider this a top 10, huh? You know what? We should probably do an episode of our top 10 favorite MCU films.
Oh no!
No, you don't want to do that? No, not interested. Okay.
Maybe. Oh, if you pay me extra.
Wait a minute. I just realized that you didn't give us your wrap up of the film. What did you think of the film? Or do you prefer not to? Okay.
I don't know. It's a 7. I know I said 9, but I
so you think a 7 out of 10?
I gave it a further evaluation. It's a 7. I'd say.
That's fair. You can do that. You can absolutely change your mind.
The original was better, I think.
I agree with you.
I think Ramonda's death really soured the movie for me.
Absolutely.
It was fun up until Namor showed up in Wakanda and trashed the place. Yeah, because no one saw that one coming.
Yeah.
Like half the royal family was already gone, and now you just want to add another one. I did not need to see 2 funeral scenes in the same movie.
Yeah. It was it was a lot. But we got through it. And just a shout out to the special effects as well. I think they did a very good job with the special effects in this movie.
Yeah.
They improved on the first movie. So that was nice. That was cool. All right. So how are we doing? Okay, we're going to wrap it up now. So this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for just spending your Saturday afternoon with us a little bit. And we're going to see, well, at least I'm going to see the movie again. I don't know if you'd be interested in seeing the movie again, but
yeah, we'll bring the family, make a nice day out of it.
Yeah, we may just hang out together, the 4 of us.
Get the popcorn and Skittles.
Okay, the 4 of us will be fine.
Speaking of popcorn,
you want
to
talk about this? Okay.
Yes, we got this bucket.
Yeah.
So we met this really nice man at the movie theater sitting next to me, and he gave me this exclusive IMAX bucket.
Yes.
So now I own this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know they were giving these out, but he was nice enough. I think he had more than one, so it was very cool. So we will keep that. You can fill up that bucket with all your Legos.
Or I could fill it with popcorn like it was intended to be used.
That's a big bucket of popcorn. I don't know.
Yeah, that means nom, 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 nom.
I don't think you'd be able to handle that. All right. Well, I think that's it.
Put it in front of me. You'll see.
Do we have anything else?
Nope.
That is it. Well, again, thank you for joining us on your Saturday afternoon. This was fun. We enjoyed the film. We hope you did too. Continue to leave comments. If you have anything that pops up, we'll be here, and any questions that we can answer for you, we'll do that as well. All right. So until next time, take care, and we will see you again.